What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. This is going to be your review for Power Book 4 Force Season 1 Episode 3. So we pick up where we left off with Tommy and Adriana trying to kill each other, and he found the drugs. And the minute he finds the drugs, his whole interest is different, right? He's not trying to kill her anymore. He's trying to figure out how they're going to make this work. And basically he commandeers her drugs, but he asked her, he says, listen, who do these belong to? And she was like, some dude who came after me, and it was what it was. And he was like, but like, he's going to come back looking for his drugs. She said, I'm the only one that walked away from that fight. He said, okay, well, you got 10 bricks here at $30,000 a pop. Somebody's coming to look for these drugs, right? And we see that the drugs have a little spider on them, like a spider emblem. So that's significant because that's who the crew belongs to. And Tommy is not stupid. Like, he lets it go because she gives him that little story. But Tommy's not stupid. He knows there's more to that story, right? So they go back to his loft, and she's gonna cut it. We find out that she basically is a professional cutter. She freelances to other crews. She's done work for CBI. She said that the brother tried to get with her, and that he still owe her $8,000 at this point. And so Tommy was like, all right, well, we're gonna step on it. We're gonna double our profit. And she said, okay, well, how we gonna split it? He said 70-30 my way. She said, She said, I'm not that scared little, courier that you knew back in New York. Like, I'm not playing those games. Like, you're not going to get me. Like, it's my product that I stole. Like, he said, all right, fine, 50-50, So she was like, why are you helping me? He was like, why are you pushing the issue? Like, just take the win and let's move on. So then, she says, Ghost coming down? He was like, nah. And then he tells her that Ghost, was killed. And I thought it was funny was she was like, did you do it? He was like, no, but I couldn't stop it either. And so they end up toasting the Ghost, and that was kind of that. Then we see Tommy going to visit his brother. Now listen, y'all, at this point, I don't know where they're going with this storyline. I don't know what the deal is with Ghost and Tommy. I said Ghost. With Tommy and the brother and what they're going to do with that. But honestly, I don't know what it is. Tommy's bringing pizzas, like they get ready to hang out. We found out that the brother is fixing up grandma's house, but they don't even know how grandma is sitting up in the retirement home, the nursing home, because it's being paid for by a trust, but him nor his daddy know who's paying the trust. Tommy was like, he was like, well, there's one where we could find out. Tommy was like, hell no, we ain't talking to my mom about it. That's what you talking about. But he's like gutting the house and fixing the house up. But Tommy's like, well, what's the plan for the house? He was like, I don't know. Well, why are you fixing up a house that you don't even know what they're going to do with? Like, that don't make no sense. Do y'all own it? Do you and your father own it? Like, it doesn't make any sense. So then he tries to give Tommy his money back. And Tommy was like, no, you need it. And he was like, well, it don't feel right taking the money. Like, I feel like it might, it might have come through, some illegal gains. And of course, Tommy was like, I own laundromats and parking and clubs. Me and my business partner, we sold off all our businesses. We split it halfway. That's legit money. Whatever. So the brother was like, well, yeah, I still don't feel right taking it because money messes up things, So then Tommy was like, well, listen, what is it that you need? Like, clearly what I'm giving you ain't enough to fix whatever the problem is. So what is it that you need? And he tells him he needs over $100,000. Now, he said it down to the penny, but I feel like that's what the hospital... Remember, he said last week it was hospital bills, so I feel like that's what the hospital bills are. But is your daddy still in the hospital? Where is daddy? Because if he's still in the hospital, then that bill is going to keep going up. But if he's out the hospital, then where the hell is he? So... Then we see Diamond and Gerard, what's his name? Gerard, the brother. They had gone to the park, reminisce once again. They're gonna play baseball and stuff. And at first, the conversation starts off easy enough. They reminiscing, talking about maybe fixing up the park. And Diamond wants to fix up the park just to do something nice for the neighborhood. Gerard was like, well, we could do something nice for the neighborhood and launder the money at the same time, like. Because he always looking for a hustle, you know, like, listen, we need some place to launder the money. He said at the end of the day, the people in the neighborhood don't care where the money comes from. They just care that they got a new park. Like, then he says, are you going to keep messing with that Tommy dude? You know, he called him the white dude or whatever. Don was like, I don't know, maybe. He said, what you mean you don't know, maybe? He was like, you need to kick his goofy ass to the curb. And he was like, I mean, he did do us a solid. You know, he handled that situation. He was like, man, F that. I don't care about the fact that he handled the situation. Like, we need to get rid of him. Like, we don't need him around. And Diamond was like, well, I don't know, you know, I don't know what I'm going to do, and I haven't decided. Like, and so Gerard got upset, basically, that Diamond wouldn't just be like, yeah, we're going to kick him to the curb. We done with him. And Diamond was like, listen, I don't know. Like, I ain't figured out what we're going to do with him yet. You know, he could be useful. I don't know. So they ended up getting into an argument about basically how the business is running. And, you know, Gerard had to remind him, listen, I've been handling this since you were gone. You know, like, this is what I've been doing since you've been gone. He was like, yeah, but, like, I gave it to you. He was like, you might have gave it to me, but I kept it running. Like, I'm HNIC now, and that's how it is. So they got into this big argument. And we see that I forgot a part. Let me rewind. The same cop that came by his barbershop that first episode, at the end of the first episode, was there videotaping this whole interaction. So he sees that the two of them are, you know, not getting along. We find out that his name is Ben again. So I missed the part, my bad. Vic, at the beginning of the episode, he has to go down to the police station and basically bail out all his boys. Come to find out, they got rounded up and they got arrested. So we see that Bennigan is on the payroll of the Flynns. And he's like, why are we paying you if my boys are still going to get arrested? Like, that's a problem. And he said, listen, that ain't my problem. It's above my pay grade. You got an alderman problem. Now, in Chicago, the aldermans are the equivalent of, like, city council members or whatever. So, basically, the Flynns are doing business in this particular city council member's jurisdiction. And he's basically, you know, shaking them down. Bennigan is on the payroll, and so is this council members on the payroll. But he always, you know, he angling for more money. So Bennigan tells Vic, listen, your beef is with him. Your beef ain't with me. So you need to go ahead and you need to talk to him about the problem. So then we see Tommy and Adriana. They're finished cutting up the product, and he tells her, all right, it's time to, you know, it's time to do some work now. And he was like, what you mean it's time to do some work? He said, well, what we need to do is we need to figure out how we're going to distribute this product. Now, Tommy is coming into Chicago with a New York state of mind. Yes, race is an issue in New York, but at the end of the day, everybody's money is green, and they look past all of that shit to make their money. But what he's finding out in Chicago is that it ain't quite that easy. One, you know, CBI stays on their side of town, the Flynns stay on their side of town, and they do not mix. Now, it seems like it's just a race issue. The blacks stay over here, the whites stay over here. But we find out later on in the episode, it's a little bit deeper than that. Like, there's some history there that those two crews have with each other that go a little deeper than just color, right? So the Flynns, Vic and, you know, the daughter, they're talking about the issue with the city council member, with the, you know, the alderman. And basically, Walter tells his daughter, listen, you handle it. You know, you go sweet talk him, you know, be a little sexy, throw a little sugar in the pot, you know, and you handle it. And of course, the daughter is like, you know how she is. She like, so I can handle that, but, you know, I can't be in no other parts of this business. Like, that's how you feel about it. And she tells him, listen, we really need to diversify our portfolio. Our profits are down, and that's a problem. And Walter is not coming up off of it. Like, he's like, listen, do what I told you to do. Stay in your lane. Don't worry about the rest of it. So then we see Vic meeting up with old girl, you know, his boo thing down to the cemetery. We see where he bought her mom a new headstone. And he lets her know, listen, I saw you with old boy. Like, I saw you with Tommy. And she was like, oh, that's why you bought my mom a new headstone? He was like, no, I got it because she deserved it. She, you know, she believed in us. Like, she gave us her blessing. She said, yeah, she gave us her blessing because I told her you would take care of me. And he told her, he said, listen, I just need a little bit more time. And what I really feel like he's doing is he knows his dad is dying. He knows his father is not going to get any medical help. So I think he's just trying to bide his time with her until he dies basically, and I think he's convinced himself that he'll be able to ride off into the sunset with old girl. But she done already told him that it ain't gonna work like that. But okay. So Tommy and Adriana meet up with Walter and Polly, and of course Polly is like, "Yo, this dude is tripping. Like you told him to leave town. Let's go ahead and kill him now." And Walter was like, "Nah, we got a little time. Let's see what he wants, and then we'll kill him. So basically, Tommy proposes his plan to him that, listen, I got some product, trying to, create a situation where we can sell it all across the city. You come out of your silo, I'm gonna get CBI to come out of their silo, and we're gonna create one big conglomerate. It is what it is, and everybody is happy." And he was like, "But I don't deal in coke. I only do pills." He was like, "Okay, but come out of the 20th century, step into the 21st century, and make it happen." And of course, Walter ain't trying to hear that. He's happy, he's content, and Tommy says, "Yeah, but your profits have been down." And he was like, "Where you get that from?" And I'm wondering, Tommy, where did you get that information from? Okay, maybe Vic, whatever. So he agrees to a sit down, right? So then we see Tommy going to visit Diamond. Well, actually, no. He sends Tommy and Vic on like a little errand. I guess it's a trial run to see how it would work out. This again, they show up at this dude's house. He's straight up tweaking. He got the girl there. She tweaking. She said her heart is racing. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And of course, the whole time that they're on this run, Tommy is getting in Vic's head about, being his own man, coming out from up under his father's shadow. You know how Tommy liked to play mind games. So they end up having to kill the dude, right? But I think Tommy ends up picking up a new member of his crew. Dude's bodyguard, Tommy spared his life, and old dude helped them, clean up the mess and get the body out of there. And I feel like, we're going to see that the bodyguard is going to become part of Tommy's little crew. But when they go back to the father, they have to explain to the father, listen, we had to kill the dude. He was tweaking. But hey, we got the good drugs and we walked away with the money. The father wasn't happy about how things went, but I guess it was enough of a success that he agreed to sit down with Tommy. So Tommy goes to see Diamond. Diamond's down to the gym, and Tommy is, wanting to talk to Diamond. But of course, the brother is there, and he's not feeling it. He's not happy that Tommy is there, and he got an attitude. So he basically challenges his brother, like, listen, this crew can't have two leaders. It's going to be me or it's going to be you. And Diamond was like, listen, we can't walk back from this. Like, if we cross this line, it's going to be what it's going to be. And he was like, it's going to be whatever. It's whatever. So they end up getting in the ring to fight. Now, Tommy actually ends up betting on Diamond, and one of the brother's little, crew members ends up betting on him. Diamond whoops his brother's ass. Now, it wasn't easy. I mean, the brother got him a couple of times, but ultimately Diamond won the fight. Now, he says later on in the episode, he says he did it on purpose because he knows that, it had to happen. The crew had to split, and now he can really, I guess, do what he need to do and take full control once and for all. I don't think he really planned to lose that fight. I think he's taking lemons and making lemonade. But I think he really thought he could beat his brother's ass because he had some old MMA shit that he was trying to do. And I think he thought that his brother was just a straight boxer. And so doing the whole MMA thing, but it don't matter. I don't think that's what he really thought was going to happen. So then we see the daughter go to her meeting with the alderman, and he playing games. You know what I'm saying? He trying to, flirt with her, and he trying to impress her. And she said, listen, we had an agreement. Like, I ain't got time for all of that. We had an agreement. He was like, well, agreements change. She said, yeah, but agreements don't change without some sort of notification. Like, you need to let us know that the price is different so our men don't get hemmed up. And he was like, well, it is what it is. That's the negotiation. That's the cost of doing business. And she said, well, look, tell me what the new price is so we can go ahead and take care of this. And so he's still playing games with her, and he talking about, he coming after her, talking about something. I mean, both of us like to eat pussy. What's up? Like, let's make it happen. And that's what I think did it. When he came after her about sex, that's when she was like, okay. So she starts talking about his daughter and how what school her daughter goes to and how she went to that school. And she said, but when I went there, I never could keep my uniforms as clean as your daughter. And she ends up showing him a picture of his daughter in her school uniform. Like, so just so you know, I'm not bullshitting with you. So he was like, fine, the price is the same. Okay, there's no increase in the price. And he was like, yeah, exactly. So she handles that little problem for daddy. So they go to the sit down with Flynn. We got Diamond, we have Tommy, we got Walter with Vic and with Paulie. And it seemed like they actually were negotiating something, right? And it seemed like right when they were getting ready to make the final um agreement, they had negotiated who was going to control what, how much Tommy's take was going to be, how much each person's take was going to be when a business deal was done on their territory. Like, they had worked all of that out. And then Polly all of a sudden starts talking about how something happened back in the day and glass shattered his wife's face and she had to have surgery. And then Diamond was like, wait a minute, like, don't do that. Like, we lost soldiers too. 9 of our soldiers died and we ain't had nothing to do with it. It wasn't on us. And then Walter was like, bullshit. And Diamond was like, whatever, I'm out of here. I don't need this. And the whole thing fell apart. And Tommy was like, what the? So he goes outside and he's telling Diamond, yo, my bad. Like, I thought they was on board. Like, I apologize how that went. And Diamond was like, listen, it ain't on you. It's on the city. Basically, there's a whole history there that you're not aware of. And I know you mean well and you really trying to bring everybody together to make, so we all can make some money. But the city ain't ready for all of that. Like, it's too much history. Some things that went down that you probably ain't privy to, but it is what it is. Then we see Tommy talking to, because they had to meet at old girl's bar. So then we see Tommy talking to her, and she was like, well, I guess that answers the question of what you do for a living. And he was like, well, that, how answering a question that was never asked. And, touche, touche. But later on that night, she texted him and asked, do you want some company? And she went over and they, did what they do. They did what they do, okay? But Tommy also, I think, noticed that the police were following him because the police, that same cop, Bennigan, and I guess his partner, were out front while all of this was going on. And so I think, Tommy, he saw them behind him. He caught the tail or whatever. And while he was on his way back to his place, the daughter actually, cuts him off and pulls him over. And they basically get to talking about, she said, who are you? Why are you here? Like, why did you decide to stay in my city? Why are you trying to create, what are you doing? And Tommy was like, listen, I'm just trying to make some money. Like, that's it. She said, well, how long you plan to be here? He was like, until I can make all the money I feel like I can make. So they started talking about the drugs, and she lets him know that she got something that, make his toes curl, right? And he said, okay, well, like, what's up? If we try and make a deal, let's make a deal. What we doing? She said, basically, we'll be in touch. So we find out, we see her with her little girlfriend later on that night, and we find out that this new designer drug originally was supposed to be some sort of diet drug, and her little girlfriend worked for a pharmaceutical company, and it didn't get, the FDA didn't pass it because the chemical combination was too close to cocaine. And so that's what this new designer drug is, right? And so that's ultimately what we end up, seeing with that. And that's pretty much the episode. So y'all let me know what y'all think. Drop it in the comments. Peace.